Well, if we got Joel here.
This side. I got to get on this side.
This side?
Yeah, I got to see the trigger work you got going on here, buddy.
Okay. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. I'm going to throw a whole bunch of caveats onto this.
2016, wasn't it? Last time I had to watch this?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Watch that thumb right there. Oh. Like Mike Tyson. Get another one.
It's been a while. Okay?
Yeah, come on, man. You know this.
Here we go. There we go.
Okay, so you're showing me how slow you can go on the trigger. That's your only job right now. I don't give a damn where the arrow goes, and neither do you. Your only job is to move the trigger slow enough you can stop it. Look at this thing. Watch it. See the white spot? There it goes. Better, but you still gave it extra at the very last.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
You might know what you're talking about.
I got it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to break. I think they're.
It's not hard to break.
Okay, so what you're saying is, I didn't.
So you start into it, right?
Yeah.
The first one, you barely started, and then you gave it open loop, right? The next one, because you were more determined.
Yeah.
You start into it, and we're watching the blood leave the capillary beds on your fingers. What we're watching, the white spot on your thumb grows in size, and then it stopped, and then and when you grab on the release, pow, and you end up in a fist like that, we know it's not a surprise break.
Okay.
Because if you didn't know when it was going to go off, your wrist would break down when it goes off. It'd go pow, it'd break down.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Let's do it. Just hook it on there.
Oh, okay.
It's got a little gate on it. Okay,
Like
so on this release, you're going to use the movement to the click to pull your conscious mind in to back here.
Yep.
Right? And then and I want you to use the same mode program. I don't want you pulling on it.
Okay.
I want you just pressing with your thumb. So you're going to draw back and aim, and you're going to press with your thumb to the click. Then here I go. To up your presence again, it's like doubling down on your presence. You got the click and here I go. Then just increase that pressure on your thumb.
Okay.
I just want to see how it pulls your conscious mind. Hang on, just go a little bit right in there, because you're going to be pressing with your thumb. So press nice and easy to the click. Then here I go, and then just ease into it. That's a surprise break. That's what a surprise break feels like and looks like. So you're using this release in a very specific way. You're using this travel to the click to draw the conscious mind into what's going on back here. And that's it's never been done before in a thumb button.
Like when I have it here, there does seem to be a lot of slack. I mean, I have to see.
There's a lot of movement for a reason.
Right. Like, I'm okay with that. But what I'm worried about is when I have this here. Okay, I feel like I can get more leverage there.
Yeah, that's why I had you move, because you normally have your thumb back here.
Yeah.
So I had you put it up in the more sensitive part of your thumb, because what you're doing with
I could see that. Because I hate a lot of hand movement.
Right. So what has always been done in the past is get on your thumb button, and then if you're doing it correctly, there's rotation you can do, or there's stretching of your hand you can do, but they're all complex movements. If we could, in any release system, we would always have single-digit manipulation, right? Like it's always been the most accurate. Like if you could shoot an index finger trigger by just moving your finger, it's the least amount of input. Now, what you're doing with this is you're pressing with your thumb, and you're setting up the motor program. It's the same motor program before the click as after the click, but you get to do it twice in one shot. That's the beautiful part about it. You get to do the same motor program twice.
I'm gonna grab these arrows.
You could have it minuscule to the click if you wanted, but
I like the travel.
We like it travel so you get time to bring your mind in.
Yeah, I like the travel. I think, back in the day when you first, I think the first time I shot with you at your house, it was a wrist rocket, and then it had a little button there, a little trigger, but I couldn't move the trigger. It just gave way to pounds of pressure.
Right, yeah.
I liked that because I just kept pushing because I had a real problem with punching a trigger.
Sure.
And I just kind of would just put pressure on it and it would go.
Yeah.
But it feels like some of the newer bows over the years, because that was a long time ago, like 2016.
It was 16, yeah.
Now they don't give. Like back then, my bow would stretch a little with the pull. Spongy wall, and I could sort of pull through and push, pull, and get these great shots. Once I also started using a hinge after that, after I shot with you.
Did you shoot a hinge with a click in it?
Yes.
Same thing. So same concept.
Exactly. But I love that because it was like, get right to the click, and then it was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I could go. So there's something about that first click.
Right. So it's the movement to the click that pulls your conscious mind into the release. But it's never been put in a thumb button before.
Yeah, this is curious.
So now it's the exact same thing, but now we're doing it with single digit millimeter. We don't have to roll our hand anymore.
Yeah,
we don't have to pull on anything anymore.
I want to try it again and see how it feels. See how it feels.
Now we've got the tension on this one set pretty light. So just ease into it.
So right about there.
There you go. Just work it till it clicks. Then here I go, and then work.
Man, did that?
You gave that one a little extra.
Did I?
Yeah.
I think at the very end.
It's at the
very
last
end.
Half a millimeter.
I'm like giving it a little bit because
when you do that though, what's going through your head specifically? Like, what are you using to guide this movement?
Well, to be honest, at that point I wasn't using anything.
Right. So anytime that you go blank, the subconscious comes in.
Okay.
Anytime you go, so you got to fill that blankness with, maybe it's a hum, maybe it's squeeze, right? Something to guide that movement. Because remember, thoughts aren't thinking. You shot that shot with thoughts. I need you to shoot this shot with thinking. Thoughts are what you hear. Thinking is what you say.
I did it again.
So, thoughts are what you hear. Thinking is what you say.
Yeah.
Thoughts aren't thinking, though, right? So, as soon as you stop talking, the subconscious will come in.
I mean, I was talking, but it's still.
But what were you saying?
Pull.
But pull's not what we're doing. You're squeezing your thumb, or you're pressing your thumb.
Squeeze.
Yeah.
Just
stay in the ease, man. Stay in the ease, man.
Those are two great shots, by the way.
Yeah, sure. But if you want the ultimate in surprise, then
I like getting to the click. That feels really good. And then it's like, okay, now I'm close.
Yeah.
And as I'm squeezing, and I'm on target, at that very last second, it's just too easy to send it.
Yeah.
There's no but I know from experience that that's a good way to introduce.
Sure.
Target panic.
Yeah, that's where it all starts. A lot of
shot anxiety and precognition movement and all that.
So let's use this release even better. Let's do it again.
Okay.
And then we'll see what you do. So I'd have you put your pinky on top of this. There's kind of a shelf right there. Feel that?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. And then I want you to put your thumb not so deep into it, right there where you can feel the movement. Work to the click. Work to click. There you go. Then here I go. Break it off. Good. So you have a tendency to really go deep on the release.
I do, yeah.
Don't necessarily have to do that, but that's cool. You just have to, this trigger is totally adjustable in, out, up and down, all over the place. The travel to the click is adjustable. The tension to the click is adjustable. After the click, it doesn't need any adjustment.
Okay. Now it's the first shot. I got an idea.
Yep. Okay. I'll stay off you on this one. So what I want to see after the click is more time.
Okay.
I want you to work, use the shot. If you don't use the shot, then you're starting to allow the shot to make you weaker. Use this shot. So you're basically showing us, now this would not be your normal timing of shot, but we're using this shot for control. So you are,
so slow it down.
I want you to just work nice and smooth to the click. After you've aimed, click, here I go, to up that presence, and then show us how slow you can go on this thing. We're watching this white spot in his thumb grow at a very rate. Good break.
Yeah, one more.
How'd that feel?
Actually feels pretty good.
I want slower than that.
Slower, huh?
I want like...
I'm not a slow person, Joe.
I know that.
My mind goes fast. My legs go fast.
I know, but you have to be able to manually slow this thing down. And you do that by talking slower, right? So what word do you use to guide this?
I've been talking for 35 years like this.
I get it, right?
I've been doing squeeze, like squeeze.
Okay, just stay in the ease.
It used to be hold, but
remember, your initial movement after the click, your initial movement is just to set the speed limit. It's not to make it go off.
Speed limits go.
No, let's set the speed limit a little bit lower, buddy. Whew, that's fast. It is a good break, though. Did you see how his wrist broke down? That's a surprise break.
Interesting.
What do you think?
Yeah, pretty cool stuff.
I like it.
The results are none of your business at this point, sir.
It's true, but
Was it a surprise break or not?
it was. Yeah. It's a different surprise break than some of the other releases.
Right. Well, when I watched you earlier, so I always watch you climb on and then bow, it's gone, right? So this, you're using that distance of the click. Like if I was having you do this, I would set this tension higher.
Okay.
So that you could actually, it really would pull you out of that aim and stuff. And so I would set the tension higher and the travel longer. To where you're like, oh, okay, now I'm here. Right?
What's fun with someone like Brad is to get him a whole new release that looks the same. Like the HD, but doesn't do the same. And they it's like at count 6 or 7 seconds or whatever, they're just used to their arrow always breaks. Like there's a rhythm they have. And you'll get somebody like this, and when the rhythm doesn't go, it's like, all hell breaks loose.
I'm going to grab arrows. I want to shoot it again.
Go grab arrows. Let's do this. This one's a little bit lighter than some of the others that I've felt. But getting him to just, and then work this thing after that, using that distance. Again, tension adjustment, travel adjustment to the click.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. And I don't know why it's never been done before.
Because it's not a necessity.
Well, it's not, but I don't think that people understood the science of it. The science of the click and what it does for neural pathways, because when you move to the click, you're sending a motor program down a neural pathway. And the neural pathway is open. It's ready for and you just send the same motor program down it after the click. It's just slower. Open loop to the click, closed loop after the click. Let's go, buddy.
Last year, when we were shooting, Brad was doing what I was doing, where he'd get to he'd do everything perfect, and at the very end, it was a punch. Right. And then it messed up his shot for a while because there's a little bit of panic in there, like sloppy, but
it just, your mind wants to just speed everything up.
Then when you film it, when you get caught and you realize what you're doing, you're like, you're not actually doing a surprise.
Right. Release. You can see the difference. I want you to show me. I want time.
Gotcha. Gosh.
So
I don't got time.
Yes, you do. When you are moving the trigger after the click, I want you like just half an ounce at a time. Show me some time. I want longer than that. Come on now.
He's holding you accountable.
He is holding me accountable, and this is like the hardest thing in my life is to slow down.
Right. So how are you going to do it then? You can't draw your bow back and then try to organize this stuff, right? We need you to go slower, right?
Okay, yes.
So you have to understand exactly how you're going to do that before you draw your bow back, right? I know you're just a super fast dude, right? But
I got it.
Your job is not to hit the target. Your job is not to hit the target. Your job's not even to shoot the shot. Your job is to move this trigger slow enough you could stop it anywhere within it. better. Same speed though.
The problem is, get to the click and then go slow.
Yeah.
I know.
Because that was slow to the click, but then it was pretty quick.
Gosh, this isn't easy.
It is easy.
It is.
It's simple. It's not easy.
Get to the click.
Yeah, we helping out a little this week.
And now the conversation starts, right? Talking yourself through it. There you go.
That was slow.
That was money. Great break.
That was painful.
Yes. But now you just used that shot. You did something very specific in that shot. So we got a blueprint how you did it.
I've got a blueprint.
What was the difference?
I just continued to really focus on the squeeze.
No kidding. Welcome to Shot IQ.
Yeah, all right.
Same thing. I want even more time on this one. Where the arrow goes, none of your business. Show us. Beautiful break.
That was a surprise.
Beautiful break there. So really blueprint how you're doing that, because when people go out on the course today, they would, maybe it was the minute hold or whatever, and they're punching the trigger and they're not using that course, that awesome course that they set up. They're not using it as the opportunity that they could to break controlled shots, because everybody's worried about hitting the target, losing an arrow, and I get it, right? But when you use a course like that, you come out of that with so much more mental power, right? Like you just did some really great shooting, right? Those 2 shots were money, but if you don't blueprint how you did it, it's just a mere moment in time.
Yeah.
So you did it, right? It was awesome. Good work.
You film this and let me shoot a couple.
So now for you, Brian, this is easy.
Well, now I'm an old hat because I got it all dialed.
Right. But there's a mental difference between when you first started with it and now. Those last 2 shots that you shot were money, just like Brad. So just keep this thing going. Show us how slow you can go. Use the movement to the click. Draw yourself into this release. Show us. Good break. Give me more time.
Yeah.
So now that would be
a little tensed.
That would be a normal timing of shot. But like what I have people do is like every 10 shots or so, just shoot one for control. Just go like, hey, watch this, right? Like watch how slow I can run this trigger. It's probably not going to hit in the same spot, right? Sure. But in training, why not? Why would we not do this, right? Why would we not use the shot for control?
Okay, you're going to see. You're going to see like stuck in time.
Amazing. Beautiful. That's how you use a shot. That was awesome. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Good work, man.
That's it's crazy how much mental discipline that takes to just not send it. Yeah. It's a grind to like just try to just.
So that's where you just got.
I can see how if I did that every day for a month.
Yeah.
I can see how it wouldn't be that grind anymore. It would just be relaxed. I've done it before.
Right.
I've been there before.
Thoughts aren't thinking, right? So those thoughts you're having of just send it, right? It's on, send it. Those are the thoughts that most people shoot with. Most people are just shooting strictly with thoughts. They're not thinking. So you did an override. You had to be louder. Your thinking had to be louder in your head than your thoughts.
Yeah.
Right? So that's how you override your own central nervous system. You got to be the loudest one in the room. Right?
Well, and sitting there and saying to myself, squeeze. Yeah. But also at the same time, while I'm doing that whole thing, using the words, it's like the whole time I'm doing that, I'm also sticking with that process, not overriding it to punch.
Right.
You know, because it's the whole time, like, I was committed that time to not shoot quickly by trying to shoot it as slow as I could, but still squeeze.
Yeah,
it built.
You didn't stop different. Movement, but you really overrode your thoughts on that one, because you have the thoughts of Why isn't this going off? How long is this going to take, right? Those are all thoughts that get people to punch the trigger. But you made a commitment before you ever drew that bow back on that one shot. You're like, oh yeah, watch this. It was a completely different mindset, a completely different approach to the shot. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to get people to do, is approach this shot differently. Like, have a race. Like if you two were shooting together, have a race to see who can shoot last. Right?
Yeah.
Who can, and without stopping, if you're able to meter it, right?
Yeah.
Who can move this thing the slowest?
Fun.
You guys that have so much mental power with this would be ridiculous.
This is really cool. So it's made by Onyx.
Made by Stan.
Oh,
Stan Onyx clicker.
Oh,
they have, they've got the Stan Onyx hinge, the Stan Onyx thumb, the Stan Onyx resistance. It's all built on the same body, but now this is the first one brought to market that has a click in the thumb.
I feel good about the way that I'm manipulating it with just my thumb, and now that I have the pinky lock, I can really put pressure on it and control it the way I want with very little hand manipulation. Because I'm struggling with the 2-finger here, and I've shot this for a while, and I like it. But when I'm back here like this, and I'm trying to put some kind of pressure onto this, I'm finding I can't seem to get it to go off on this bow, because the bow doesn't give at all. Yeah. And so as soon as I start to pull, like normally in the past, I would get this thing on, and with most of my bows, all I do is hook my thumb in there, and then I just start pulling into the wall.
Right.
And pushing a pull has always worked well, but it seems like the last few years, the bows don't give at all.
Right.
And so I'm finding that that's not a good technique.
Yeah.
This, I'm able to get it in there.
It's just less input, right?
Yeah, I'm able to just there's no push and pull. There's I'm just holding on target, and I'm just moving my thumb. And that last shot, I could really control.
Right. We know that's the best. I mean, that's why rifles aren't shot with
push and pull,
pulling on a trigger like this. They're all shot with single-digit manipulation. But firearms are so much easier to control than bows are, right? Because your body's not in tension. The explosion doesn't happen. Yeah. In a firearm, it happens in the apparatus. It imparts recoil on you, but it's much easier to override. So now you can shoot single-digit manipulation, and so the accuracy potential of this is what Bodie's been winning everything with. Yeah, it's been awesome.
Well, I like that I can get right to the click too, because there's something mental about that. It's like you never know how comfortable you can get into the squeeze process, right? You grab something else, and it doesn't, like my other releases, they don't move at all.
It's all based on preload.
Yeah.
Right?
So with this, it's like my hinge, which I shoot the best. I just can't hunt with it or in the wind very well.
Yeah.
But I love the hinge. That's my favorite. And I shoot it like lights out because I just get in there, roll to the click, clink. I'm already manipulating into the movement.
Yeah.
I know what I can get away with because it hasn't clicked yet. So I just, without any kind of mental problems, I just go, woo, click. Yeah. And then I follow through.
Sure.
With this, it's the same because I'm able to get it in there and I just start squeezing with abandon. No worries.
Sure.
Because it hasn't clicked yet.
Yeah.
And then once it clicks, I'm into my movement, and now I can just continue it.
Yep.
But with my other releases, it's like trying to find it. Yeah. Am I in the spot? Am I squeezing it just right? Do I have the right angle? I can't tell.
It sets up the motor program. That's the beautiful thing. Like most professional archers will go to a hinge with a click because they'll say that a thumb button makes them punchy, right? Well, it doesn't do anything. It's a piece of metal. It doesn't make them punchy, but they don't trust themselves with it.
Yeah.
Because of that click now. I mean, the weapon's not even hot yet till you roll that hinge to a click.
Right.
Weapon's not even hot yet till you squeeze that thing to a click.
I love that.
And it's a very calming effect. It takes all the anxiety out of the aim because you got very specific jobs to do with very specific checkpoints within that job.
I also like this pinky thing because
it's a great feeling.
Here I have it in my hand and I can just go, I have all the leverage I need to just engage my thumb.
Right.
The other one, I'm like, the other ones, it's like it's moving around on me, and I can't seem to hit it consistently. Yeah, really. There's one thing when I could pull through. I just can't lately.
Yeah.
So this is cool. I like it.
Good work.
I want one of these now. Do you have boxes of these somewhere?
No.
Damn
I have some.
You're like a crack
dealer
over here, just showing everybody what it can do. And
I couldn't hardly get them. I mean, I'm on the patent for this thing.
Are you?
Yeah. And so
sweet. Look at you.
Well, I mean, I got a hold of these folks, or I was put in touch with these folks, and the engineer had it built in 3 hours.
Really?
He goes, "Oh, I can do that." Because I told him the whole science of the click, and he's like, "Oh, I think I can do that on the Onyx platform." I'm like, "Build it." He called me in 3 hours and goes, "I got it." I'm like, "Send it." So he sent it. And, Bodie doesn't like thumb buttons. He's always shot a hinge with a click in it. He's like, "I don't want to shoot it. I don't want to shoot it." I'm like, "Kid, just try it for me, please." Right? So first thing was 80 yards, man. He drew that thing back, moved it to the click. Bah! Just dead center. And he looks at me and goes, "Oh, that was good." And I haven't got it. He won't stop shooting. He won Reading with it. He's just winning with this thing. Dude. The accuracy potential of this system is money. Because when I do all these things, I'm doing clinics around the world, and still over 70% of the shooters are shooting thumb buttons.
Explain to me in your fancy language the part about getting to the click. What'd you call it?
So it's setting up a motor program.
Setting up a motor program.
So when you move to the click, you just sent a motor program down a neural pathway.
Okay. Which is basically a movement pattern.
Yeah. You've just done a movement. To do that, you have to send a motor program down a neural pathway. Yeah.
And then the body starts to do it.
So then you're here, and it's the same motor program. That neural pathway is ready for another motor program. It's like I wouldn't.
That's what I was saying earlier when I was real wordy.
Yeah.
And I said it
like I wouldn't have you press to the click and then pull.
Right.
Two different motor programs.
Two different things.
Right? I would have, and you can do that.
See, the thing is, here, there's no click first. So I'm like, am I doing it? Oh, crap.
It's all based on preload, right? So you can shoot.
What do you mean based on preload?
So how much you have to pull was based on how much pressure you put on it to start with. Yes. It's called preload on a trigger, right?
Yep.
So maybe one time big old bull's coming in, you draw back and you get on it real hard, and then you only have to pull just a little bit.
Yep.
That arrow's going to impact differently than if you got on it light and had to pull a bunch to make it go off.
Yep.
So you get to the same preload every single time. It always starts at the same spot.
Which is a problem when your adrenaline is going. Sure. Brad can attest to it. And I'm right here. Poof, the arrow's out there because I got so much.
We can't stop that. Right? We can't change.
But with this thing, the movement pattern's the same. It moves through its range.
Go to the click. Here I go, and then just do the same motor program again. The funnel's already open for it. You're just shoving the same motor program.
Each shot, it just seems easy. Get into the click, and then it's just manipulate that thumb. I'm excited.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's fun to shoot surprise. Shots.
It is.
It's fun. There's something, but it's harder. It's hard to get by it, especially if you have a small target. Especially if you're a long way away and you have anxiety about losing an arrow or breaking stuff,
Those are thoughts.
Right. When I'm usually, if I've been away from the bow for a long time, I'll shoot at 20 yards for, days and days, just so that I don't fight with that, with punching the release. Because I just sit there and go, it doesn't matter where it hits. It doesn't matter where it hits. Yeah. And I can get that slow release under, but jumping back into it after being gone for a long time, it's like, it fall right back into some bad habits.
Very, you say that it's fun. I find it very powerful, because if you can control a movement that causes an explosion, you can control just about anything. So as the hierarchy of concentration goes, shooting a bow is at the very top. To control that movement that causes this massive explosion that goes through your body, very powerful for your mind to be able to do that. It's really cool stuff.
How did Lampers? He shot it.
He loves it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loves it.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay. Brad, get him. Get him ordered up.